Hey, it's Genesis 12. All right, this one is the call of Abram. The Lord had said to Abram, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." So Abraham left, as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 25 years old when he set out from Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan. And they arrived there. Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh at Shechem. At that time, the Canaanites were in the land. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. From there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel and pitched his tent. With Bethel on the west and Ai on the east, there he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. Then Abram set out and continued toward the Negev. Abram in Egypt. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, "I know what a beautiful woman you are, and when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and all my life will be spared because of you." And my life will be spared because of you. When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians saw that she was a very beautiful woman. And when Pharaoh's officials saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and she was taken into his palace. He treated Abram well for her sake, and Abram acquired sheep and cattle, male and female donkeys, men servants and maidservants, and camels. But the Lord inflicted serious diseases on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh summoned Abram. "What have you done to me?" he said. "Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister so that I took her to be my wife?" Oh my goodness. Sorry. "Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go." Then Pharaoh gave orders about Abram to his men, and they sent him on his way with his wife and everything he had. Ooh, sketchy. It's funny because I've read this so many times, and I've even read this out loud like before and done this as a study, but just thinking about how sketchy that was, because I've been other places, in the recent years. I've not been in Genesis, and it's just interesting to be like, it's a little sketchy. But this is one of those examples where I want you guys to remember, like, this is not, like, it's descriptive and not prescriptive. So that means this is something that's describing what happened, not necessarily telling you what's right or wrong. Abram, even though he was a man of God, a man that God had a close relationship with, that's all man of God means, like, which could be all of us if we allow it and like we just call upon his name like Abram did. He didn't necessarily do the right things, as you saw. Abram was not one that was perfect. And one thing I find interesting about this chapter that I like to actually like highlight when I talk about it is if you go back and rewind this video, you can actually try to see what Abram did that made him stand out. Even if you go back to the last video and you try and figure out what was it about Abram that God decided he was just going to make a covenant with him, guess what? Spoiler alert, it's nothing. Isn't that crazy? It was nothing. There was nothing that made Abram stand out. Nothing in his moral character, nothing in his face, nothing in the way that he was. God chose to make a covenant with Abram just because he chose to make a covenant with Abram. That's wild. Which shows you kind of, and I'm going to get explicit with it, the reason why that's important is because there's nothing in our character or nothing we can do, nothing in our moral type of endeavors that makes us pleasing to God. I think that's something that's not really talked about as much, especially like in different kind of like spheres. Like I know the Catholic circle, things like that. It's a lot about works and what you're doing and how you are supposed to work yourself into being a good person. Every single religion on earth says the same thing. They say that. Why do they say that? Because if something's man-made, it's going to make sense to man. And what makes sense to man is you earn what you get. But in Christianity, it's the only religion, the only faith in all existence that does not make sense. It could not have been made by man. Because the way to heaven, you're telling me, is just to trust that Jesus died on the cross for my sins. And if I trust in him to be my savior and the one who took my sins away, they're going to be gone. What do I have to do? Nothing. You couldn't do anything. You were already shot out the gate. It's like you were a horse that somebody like shot in the Achilles and then they said, run, run, go. You can't. He came to us. He took our place. He ran the race for us. And guess what? He won. That's what Christianity is all about. It's not to make you feel little or small, which is kind of like that temptation of a reaction that we want to feel. And why? It's because we want to be glorified. We want to take on that honor or whatever, that I earn this. I don't want to get this from anybody else. Like, I want to say that I had it myself. Okay, sure. Then you can go and like, and I'm not meaning this in a mean way. I'm totally meaning this in just like I get it, because I've thought patterns. This is where this is coming from. Same. You can take your sin and you can go stand before literally the holiest being in all of existence. And you can say, let me take you on myself. Or like my nihilist friends say, and if some of you are on here, that's you as well. Stop it. Get some help. I'm just kidding. But there is that reality in which, like, you know, you could just kind of be like, no, I'm going to just, you know, he sends me to hell. It is what it is. I'm a nihilist, you know, and things are going to turn out however they're going to turn out. It doesn't have to be that way. Confess that, like, you know, he is Lord. That's it. That's all. Abram did nothing. And yet, God made a promise to him. This is the same pattern of God throughout all of our lives in Christianity. We did nothing but sin. He said, don't worry, I've made a way for you. Don't worry, I've looked upon you and I'm going to call you to myself. Don't worry, I got you. And then after God made that covenant with Abram, guess what happened? After he made the covenant, Abram went up and he made a place where he like pitched his tent, and then he started calling upon the Lord. That's what happens in our faith. God is the one that makes the first move. He's the man. He's the one that initiates. And after he initiates and after he calls us, guess what? Oh, our heart springs to life. I totally understand this. I didn't understand this before. But I think God allowed me to go through a season. I'm like, do I go into this or do I not? I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. It's crazy. Because at first your heart's hardened and you're like, what do you want? When somebody, like, you know, even just relationally, like if a dude comes up and he starts pursuing you, you're like, what do you even want? And then they start loving you and showing you who they are. And that's what causes you to respond. That's what gets your heart that you've put up like a million walls with to start like breaking them down. You start coming out of the fortress and then you start looking at this person and then you start realizing like, oh my word, like I'm feeling my own heart for the first time. And I actually, I care for this person. Like I choose them, like, and you like observe who they are and you like want to know more and you want to dig it. And then in response, it makes you want to learn how to love them better. And it becomes enduring and it becomes deep and it becomes something that you can't stop. It's real. And that is what our faith is. It's that same picture of him initiating the call with us in the beginning. And from that call where we see like, oh my gosh, like you've loved me. Why? What do you even want? And then you slowly start accepting, like, you know, you go on the first date and you're like, okay, that wasn't that bad. And then after that, you start to realize, like, oh, you're more beautiful than I thought you were. I actually really like this. And then that's what captivates your eyes. That's what gets you going. That's what makes you want to do his love language, which is obedience. That's like how it is with the Lord. Dude, fall in love. It's great. Fall in love. I mean, in more ways than one, but you know, just, it's awesome. Yeah, that's a story for another time. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll get on here, hopefully, again soon to make another. I have to go to bed. It's really late. I'm sad. I'm so crusty right now. Okay, bye.